Chapter 71. I'm sorry, miss. Attribute found, Golden Life Spirit Root 1. Attribute found, Water Earth Spirit Root 1. Attribute found, Water Gold Spirit Root 1. Attribute found, Water Life Spirit Root 1. Do you want to pick it up? After over a dozen battles, various attributes of every hue appeared before Han Yi. He didn't pick up every attribute, only those that matched his own existing gold and water attributes. The attributes he didn't pick up automatically dissipated. In this world of cultivation, whether born a prodigy or a mortal, everyone had 5 roots: gold, wood, water, fire, and earth. The difference was a mortal's 5 roots were all muddled and unsuitable for cultivation. The reason prodigies have superior aptitude is that one of these roots is incredibly pure, far surpassing the other 4. These people are known as single spirit root holders. The 5 spiritual roots represent 5 attribute aptitudes. The fewer roots one has, the purer they are, the faster the cultivation speed. The higher the affinity with spiritual ki and the conversion rate. Previously, Han Yi had accumulated the fire and earth attributes to extreme purity, transforming into dual spiritual roots and eventually merging into the thunder spirit root. However, the gold spirit root he originally possessed did not disappear, and its purity continued to rise. So, he couldn't help but wonder, when his gold spirit root reaches the peak of purity, could it once again merge and transform? Han Yi believed that this possibility was quite high. In other words, the thunder spirit root was not his limit, and there was a stronger spirit root above. After a while, a light flickered again. A woman dressed in a deep blue martial robe with a sword on her back appeared in front of him. Her long eyebrows and a look of heroism in her eyes were very familiar to Han Yi. Her features were quite delicate, but her heroic demeanor outweighed her feminine charm. "Miss?" Seeing her, Han Yi was startled. He did not expect to meet the young miss of the Liu Manor, as the person in front of him was Liu Linky of the Ziwei Peak. "Han Yi, it's you?" Lilinki was also surprised when she recognized him. However, her expression quickly returned to normal. No matter who it was, she had to defeat them. Only by obtaining a high place can she receive the inner sect disciple recommendation quota from her master at the end of the year. There are tens of thousands of outer sect disciples in the 10 main peaks, but the number of people who can enter the inner sect is fixed every year. "Miss, I didn't expect to meet you here." Han Yi still maintained his politeness towards Liu Linky. Although he was once a tenant farmer in the Liu Manor, they gave him the opportunity to go to the Dragon Sparrow sect, which led to where he is today. He had a clear understanding of these things. Liu Linky's cold voice echoed, "No need for courtesy. Since we are in the sect's big competition, a sincere battle is the greatest respect for both parties." Okay, Hainier also agreed with this statement. He couldn't possibly let her win intentionally. Now he was not representing the Liu Manor, but the pure Yang Peak. He was fighting for the pure Yang Peak. Liu Linky's strength had also increased rapidly. Her cultivation was higher than those disciples just now, and she was definitely in the Qi realm. If he remembered correctly, she was a single spirit root holder with a woodlife spirit root, and her aptitude was quite good. Since joining the sect, her cultivation speed has been faster than his. It seemed that a strong enemy had been arranged for him. Liu Linky was not like those Qi realm disciples before. Her base and aptitude were higher. She was not that easy to deal with. Thus, Han Yi became even more serious, took out his majestic mid-grade magical artifact, the Profound Thunder Blade, from his storage ring. This was the first time he used a magic treasure against an enemy. It was about time to try out the Profound Thunder Blade. The lethality of sword ki is the highest among all weapons. It can penetrate the meridians, and it can't be easily resisted with the physical body. Moreover, the quality of the flying sword behind Liu Linky was not low, it was a high-grade magical equipment. Swoosh! Lilinky jumped high, the long sword pointing horizontally. A silver flying sword was drawn from her back and rose into the sky. Her eyes followed the movement of the sword, the gleaming purple sword key attached to the tip of the sword intertwined into a purple serpent. Her deep blue robe fluttered, her eyes were very sharp. Han Yi was not to be outdone. He held the hilt of the sword, infused it with ferocious fire gang ki, and the scale-like purple electric patterns lit up one by one. emitting a sizzling electric light, which was very eye-catching. The fusion of thunder and fire could unleash formidable power. Ding! The figures of the two quickly intersected. Between the light of the sword and the shadow of the knife, violent collisions sounded. And the piercing sound of the sword whistling and the arc of electricity jumping could be heard. The surrounding trees were blown down by an invisible wave of ki. The rocks under their feet cracked inch by inch, spreading out like a spiderweb's fracture, sinking down a little. A strand of purple attribute light fell behind Liu Linky. Han Ye's expression condensed, but he didn't have the time to pick it up. What a tremendous force! On the other hand, Liu Linky looked troubled. She only felt a shock in her palm, a feeling of numbness, a huge force climbed up along the blade of the knife to the edge of the sword, causing her ki and blood to churn. She did not expect Han Ye's strength to be so great now. Swordsmanship is about being clever, finding an opportunity to kill with one blow, not a contest of strength. Continuing like this would only lead to defeat, so she quickly retreated, her steps agile, and disappeared into the darkness. Han Yi was not in a hurry and took a step forward to pick up the attribute. Pick up attribute, Sword Heart Clarity 1. Sword Heart Clarity Purple, gift of swordsmanship. The sword is as easy to wield as a finger. The sword moves with the heart, achieving unity of man and sword. What a Sword Heart Clarity! Han Ye's mouth hooked. This attribute fits very well with sword art mastery. One focuses on swordsmanship, the other on sword intent. Zing! Suddenly, a dazzling purple sword light fell from the sky, vaguely showing the shadow of an exotic beast's sword intent. Purple Phoenix startled Swan. A sweet shout followed the fall of the sword from above Han Ye's head. Han Yi felt as if the sword light before him had slowed down. He had an inkling, as if he could predict where the opponent's blade would strike from. Could it be because of Sword Heart Clarity? Despite not using a sword himself, his understanding of sword intent was gradually increasing, thus he was slowly able to discern Liu Linky's sword moves. If that's the case. Clang! The profound thunder blade in the shape of a long saber shot out 7 dazzling blue arcs of lightning from the blade's body. It clashed heads-on with the purple phoenix startling swan sword ki. The silver gang ki wrapped around the saber, forming the shape of a sharp dagger, unleashing the second strike. Purple mysterious thunder knife, the first layer, heavenly thunder brilliance. Clang! 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 Within a moment, the two individuals exchanged several blows. Liu Langlang used Ziwei's sword art, and Purple Phoenix startling swan sword ki was agile and ethereal, and full of killing intent. Han Yi used the purple mysterious thunder knife, along with the G golden ding ki from the mountain-shaking 5 Elements gang, attacking with full force. His knife master ability also provided a significant boost. However, he felt that Liu Linky was incredibly fast, quickly landing a strike before retreating, not giving him enough time to gather his strength. Han Yi gripped the hilt tightly, feeling slightly irritated. His left hand generated true ki, forming and manipulating hand seals, and cast a spell. Waterfall technique. True ki surged out like a flowing river, all the water vapor in the air concentrated together, forming a roaring waterfall. Water Gang. Ansi again, he utilized the Azure Water Gang ki from the mountain-shaking 5 Elements gang. The combined force of gang ki and the waterfall was astonishing. This area was entirely surrounded by the raging waterfall. Within a radius of 10 steps was all Azure Water Gang ki. As soon as Liu Linky made a move, she would be enveloped by the Water Gang and rendered unable to escape. Mountain-shaking 5 Elements gang. Liu Linky watched from the shadows, her heart pounding in surprise. Unexpectedly, Han Yi had actually learned the supreme divine power of Pure Yang Peak. Even though it was only at the initial stage, it already exhibited considerable power. Thunderfall. Hanya held the profound thunder blade with its tip pointing towards the sky. The robust true ki infused into the blade emitted a resounding peal of thunder. A powerful ray of lightning incinerated the trees in front of him, leaving no place for the opponent to hide. Crap! Seeing the precarious situation, Liu Linky had no choice but to reveal herself, only to be detected by the Azure Water Gang ki. A thick wall of water encircled her and started to close in. "Sorry, miss. Hanya caught a glimpse of Liu Linke's figure, no longer holding back. He harshly yelled, "Wood Gang! Earth Gang!" In void, True Ki guided the knife. His left and right fists gathered two different colors of powerful Gang Ki. One emanating a life-giving green light, the other a profound yellow light. With a flash, he appeared before Liu Linke. Both fists swung through the air, directly thrashing her. Liu Linke frantically raised her sword to block, the light from her sword ki intensifying. However, Han Yi fainted. He converted the punch into a slap, both of his palms clapping together. Boom! With aid of the power of the dragon tiger, the terrifying force induced by the domineering body formed a devastating wind and exploded outward from the gaps between the palms, sending Liu Linke flying measurably. The flying sword slipped from her hand, impotently sticking into the ground. Han Yi withdrew the flying sword, effortlessly brandishing it into a sword flower. The whistling sound of the sword wind echoed as he bent down to pass it to her and Sincere Lisade, "You lost, your ladyship." "Han Yi, you are indeed formidable." Liu Linke, with blood trailing from the corner of her mouth and a desolate expression in her brows, said, dissolving into light. Vanishing in this space, her last echoing words were heard, "Don't call me ladyship in the future." After the fight, Han Yi was also transported out and entered the resting phase. If wounded, fighting continuously would result in further injury. Therefore, it was a humane design that allowed everyone ample time to rest and recover their true ki and treat their wounds using medicinal herbs. However, beneath the ascending immortal platform, the outer sect disciples of various main peaks watching the scene broke out in astonishment. What just happened? Even Liu Linke, the swordsmanship prodigy of Ziwei Peak, was defeated? I asked about him. His name is Han Yi. He is this year's top disciple of the outer sect in Pure Yang Peak, a tough guy. Did you see that? He just used Pure Yang Peak's mountain-shaking 5 elements gang and supreme limitless skill. Is it really possible for someone to master both skills in just half a year? As Han Yi's battle came to an end, there was an even more exciting duel happening among the inner sect disciples on the other side. Quickly, look at the other side of the ascending immortal platform. The two geniuses of the inner sect are battling it out. A disciple from Ziwei Peak shouted at the crowd, his expression overflowing with excitement. Han Yi swallowed a keen nurturing pill, heard the hubbub, and asked with a furrowed brow, "Where are the two geniuses? You don't know about Ziwei Peak's two extraordinary swordsmanship prodigies? Liu Chengfeng and Chu Shanyu, representing the old and new inner sect, are contesting in the big competition." Han Yi responded with surprise, interrogating, "Aren't they both disciples of Ziwei Peak?" Yes, among the inner sect disciples, everyone has been defeated by both Liu Chengfeng and Chu Shanyu. The title of the inner sect's #1 would be determined only by a match between the two of them. Upon hearing this, Han Yi was taken aback. Was Ziwei Peak's inner sect this formidable this year? They have knocked down all of the inner sect disciples in the 10 main peaks and have started an internal battle. With these thoughts in mind, Han Yi couldn't help but become curious and decided to find out for himself.